Formula 1 is the fastest motorsport in the world that takes place around some of the fastest racing circuits in the world as well. And as such, you have to be a very fit and capable athlete in order to compete in Formula 1. So much so that to race in Formula 1 or take part in any kind of session in Formula 1, you need an FIA Super license, which is something that is very hard to obtain. In fact, some very capable drivers in particular from IndyCar have failed to do so because of the point system that is in place there. But let's not dwell on that. Let's talk about one of the toughest aspects to driving a Formula 1 car. It's not the heat, it's the G-forces, the forces that are placed on you throughout a lap going around a circuit in F1. So to go over this, let's go over which are the highest G-forces that a Formula 1 driver can expect to experience during a race weekend, and also explain what G-forces are before we do that. So G-force is effectively the force of gravity upon your body. Now when you're just on the ground or perhaps in an office recording some Formula 1 videos like I am right now, the force of gravity is always pulling down on you. It basically just makes everything go towards the center of the earth. It's what keeps us all on ground level. That's what gravity is, of course. But when it comes to the actual force that is placed upon your body, this is measured at 9.81 meters per second or per second squared. Now I know technically that is an acceleration, but let's not get into hardcore physics, right? All you need to know is that it's a force that's placed on your body. Now when you just sat down or just walking around, this will be at 9.81 meters per second pulling down. But the G-forces that we're interested in Formula 1 are the lateral G-forces, the ones that go side to side. And you'll see very high G-forces when accelerating, braking or cornering in Formula 1. Now your road car, if you've got a very fast road car, you might have one that can accelerate at something around, giving you around the force of 1G or something like that. If you're braking very heavily, you might get something like 2G or something like that in an emergency stop. Formula 1 cars though are rather quick, to say the least, and when a car is accelerating at full throttle in Formula 1, they will experience around 3 to 4 Gs. Now to put that into perspective, this basically shows why the drivers' necks are so big and muscular and why they work them out all the time too. Look at David Coulthard. That guy hasn't raced in over 10 years and his neck is absolutely swole to this day. And you'll see this for all the F1 drivers really, because basically what that means is that your head will weigh between 3 and 4 times what it normally does when going side to side, when cornering, or going backwards during an acceleration event, or going forwards, of course, during a braking event as well. Now, for us mere mortals here in the real world, that would really hurt, and that would probably do some damage to your neck, but because they work their necks out so much, they're okay. Now, again, it's something that you'd have to experience to really know what that feels like firsthand, but I can imagine that is really something to feel for the first time. Now, when it comes to heavy braking, meanwhile, that can go all the way up to 5 or even 6 Gs in the biggest braking zones in Formula 1. Think the turn 1 court, the first turn in Monza, for example. Again, to quote David Coulthard, he said that braking in a Formula 1 car from 200 miles an hour is like being hit in the back of the head by a sledgehammer, which, again, that's not pleasant. I think anybody can relate to that. That would not be very pleasant. But what about corners, the lateral G-forces? Well, these can move anywhere between 4 and 6.5 during corners. Now, and again, this is not just the actual force itself, which is a lot, by the way. I mean, your body will affect it. Let's just say, right, for argument's sake, that you weigh 100 kilograms, right? You might be a really big guy. I don't know, right? But that would mean that effectively during that corner, your body weighs 650 kilograms. That's the force that's being placed on your arms, your legs, your organs, and your head as well. It's a lot. And again, this is why the Formula 1 drivers are so fit, and why to this day some people argue that, oh, F1's not a sport, they're just sat down and driving cars. Go in an F1 car and tell me that. Experience these G-forces. Go in an F1 simulator, which is nowhere near as powerful in terms of the forces that you'll experience. Go in an F1 simulator and tell me that was an easy ride, because it absolutely beats you up no end. It really, It really does. Trust me, I've been in one. It hurts. You feel like you're being torn apart. And that's toned down as well. I mean, it's an incredible one, really. So, you know, the G-forces that these guys experience is huge, and because of that, it makes it really, really physically demanding on the body in the car. I mean, think about, I mean, the heat was another factor as well, but think about Qatar in 2023. You know, that is such a fast circuit with a lot of long, fast-flowing corners. It's like being beaten up. There's just no break in terms of the forces that have been placed on your body during those races, so it hurts a lot, and that can be extremely tiring. I mean, just going on a car journey for 5-6 hours, it's tiring. Going on a plane journey for that amount of time, it's tiring. You're being strapped into something that's in a relatively uncomfortable environment for a long time, and you can kind of get that if you do some long journeys, but for F1 it is just amplified to the nth degree. It really, really is. So the biggest G-forces F1 drivers though will experience is during crashes. I have to mention this because, again, you know, this is obviously not part of the plan. This is not something they want, but every F1 driver has a crash, and has a big crash as well. Even the likes of Sir Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, they've had some really, really big ones over the years. And again, it depends on the crash, of course. But you know, if the G-force monitors, because they obviously monitor this for the safety aspects of things, if they go above, I think it's 25 or 30 G, then they have to go to the medical centre to get checked out, which happens at least a couple times a season for drivers. But, you know, I'm sure that some of Fernando Alonso's crashes over the years have been 50 G plus, which, again, you have to be in very good shape to be able to get yourself out of the car in that kind of situation after experiencing such a massive force. It's not, I mean, obviously it's nowhere near on the same level, but I was involved in a really serious car accident as a child, and, you know, experiencing that's scary. So I can't imagine what it'd be like in Formula 1 when you're crashing at nearly 200 miles an hour and you're just a passenger in some sort of incident or something. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, there's a full article on the F1Chronicle.com if you guys want to check it out as well, going into more detail than what I can do during this G-force video here. But yeah, that's what G-force is. It's the force of gravity being placed upon your body, and however many G-forces you have is the multiplier of what it is. Whether it's 2G or 6G, it's a lot for us mere mortals. But for the Formula 1 drivers, it's just a Sunday afternoon drive. They're used to it. But for much more F1 Explained videos, head over to the F1Chronicle.com to see more explainer articles, or keep it here on the video channels and subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you very soon, guys. Have a good one.